welcome back to Fear Me. The Jeff the Killer dating sim recently had an update with additional dialogue choices and an extension to the horrors Jeff could put you through. Also, I know Jeff looks great and what, but god damn! Anyway, here are your content warnings now. Please enjoy. What is the fear of death, really? You forgot what it's like to fear the end of days. But it's not like you've lost your will to live. It's more like apathy. Apathy that led you into a pretty mediocre adult life. No legacy, no big dreams, nothing left undone. The idea that one day you'll just be gone doesn't really bother you. But it's not like you want to die. No, of course not. You're fine with how your life is after all. If one day, poof, you just vanished, you'd still feel at peace because the world will keep turning anyway. But you're okay with your life. Maybe it's a little bland and average, but it's yours and you get to decide how to live it. But if that means not taking everything so seriously, well, that's your call. So you spend every day working full-time at a video rental store. I like movies. Main reason you took the job, it's something you actually kinda like. Sure, these days the only people who come to these kinds of stores are nostalgia junkies and film nerds, but hey, at least you get to kill time watching all kinds of movies on the monitor during slow days. The place is colorful enough not to drag your mood down, and if you're lucky, you might even run into some interesting characters. Excuse me. You'd been staring so intently at one of the monitors playing a classic action flick that you don't notice someone standing across the counter. Oh, Jeff, this is early. You glance up at the customer. You're sitting in your designated spot. Hey, you've got rights as an employee, and flinch a little at the imposing figure in front of you. It's a tall, slim guy wearing a hoodie and a bandana covering his mouth and nose. You raise an eyebrow at his outfit. Looks like he's trying really hard not to draw attention, which somehow just makes him stand out even more. But hey, who are you to judge? I found this on the floor. He lifted a pale hand towards you. Long fingers, big palm. Not that you're paid to profile people's hands or anything. He was holding an employee's badge. Your employee badge. My name? Lion. Oh, wow. You reached for your neck. Yep, your badge was definitely gone. You'd arrived a few minutes late today and rushed into your uniform. Probably dropped it while doing the urgent stuff. The fact that no one noticed until now says a lot about how often customers show up. Thank you so much. I didn't even notice. You mumbled that last part to yourself, more than to the stranger. Suddenly, he lets out a soft chuckle from behind his bandana. Was he laughing at you or with you? To ease the awkwardness, you gave him a chuckle back. Wait, how does he close his eyes without eyelids? Do you get into trouble a lot, Lion? You jumped a bit hearing your name, but duh, you must have read it off of your badge. A stalker? Yeah, right, what a joke. There's nothing that special about you for someone to be obsessed. Still, you definitely picked up on the guy's flirty tone. Either that, or you're getting full of yourself. Yeah, I'm a flirt back. Why? You gonna come save me again? Under the guy's bangs, you thought you saw his eyes light up. Must have been your imagination. Maybe. You gave a faint smile at his vague reply. You don't usually flirt with customers, but there was something about this guy that made it feel like you were stepping into a game. You weren't sure if you wanted to play along yet, but it wasn't off the table. Name's Jeff, by the way. Huh? Felt kinda unfair that only I knew your name. Yeah, right. Okay, that was awkward. Oh, come on, Lion, you can do better than that. Well then, Jeff, what can I help you with? Don't think you came all the way here just to return lost property. Jeff leaned over the counter, just enough for his eyes to peek out from under his bangs. You instinctively leaned back a little from the sudden movement, but kept your polite customer service smile. I'm still deciding if I'll grab something or not. As a salesperson, you should be trying to sell him as much as possible, but something told you Jeff was lying through his teeth. You stared at him for a few seconds in silence, watching him pretend to think. Well, but are you seeing anyone? Ooh, man, I know that this demo, had some changes, but I didn't think it was this different. I'm gonna go for it. I know this is a dangerous choice. Yeah, let's do that. Jeff faltered a bit, his eyes finally meeting yours. You got a proper look at them. Light blue, like a sky with thin, wispy clouds. You knew there were tons of shades of blue eyes, but you were pretty sure you'd never seen any this pale. Jeff stayed silent for a few seconds, recovering from the initial surprise, then tilted his head with a teasing smirk. So what if I do? That would be a shame. And couldn't you be a bit more shareable? You rested your chin on your hand, flashing a sly smile. Jeff cleared his throat behind his bandana, and he had a strong suspicion he was stifling a laugh. Hey, at least he got a reaction. Shifting away from the personal stuff, you slipped back into work mode. Want me to recommend anything? That'd be nice. What kind of genres do you like? Jeff straightened up and stroked his chin thoughtfully, his voice muffled slightly by the bandana. I want you to recommend something you actually like. What are your favorite genres? Oh, I do love a good thriller, but horror! Oh yeah? What's a favorite subgenre? Okay, honestly, I do... Okay, oh man, okay, I'm not a fan of body horror. Ghosts can be interesting because, they can symbolize something else. Found footage, not so much. Monsters, it depends on, what's being featured. Slashers, they're always fun. Exorcisms, not so much. Psychological horror could always be good. Could be good. I'm gonna go with slasher. Oh, that one's my favorite too. Yeah, it's awesome. It mixes tension and action in a way that's super engaging. It also gives you that intense feeling, tapping into the most primal fear, being chased. Yeah, I guess. You don't think so? Nah, I do. I just don't share that fear personally. I like the suspense when main characters get hunted down or killed, but not because I'm afraid it might happen to me. Anyone would be scared of being chased by a killer. I know, it's just not something I relate to. Jeff muttered something, but you didn't quite catch it. Did you say something? Nothing in particular. Well, so do you wanna... I just remember I've got the perfect movie at home. What? I just went out to see what was in the market, but I think I've seen enough. But suddenly, Jeff grabbed your hand and lifted it in a gentlemanly gesture. You were speechless, caught off guard. Thanks for your service. The words get stuck in your throat as he stepped away from the counter and headed for the exit. I'm gonna be friendly. Come back again. Maybe next time we'll find something you like. Jeff didn't turn around but waved goodbye with his hand. You stayed there for a while trying to process what just happened. Looks like today was one of those days where you met someone eccentric, but the whole encounter left you feeling kinda weird. Was it because Jeff was covered head to toe? Something clearly suspicious. Something to watch out for? Though, all things considered, the conversation with him was pretty chill. He never felt in danger. Maybe he was just a weirdo after all. You'd rather believe that than think you ran into a fugitive on the run. But then, after thinking about the guy for a while, you realize you haven't made a single sale all day. Tough luck, Lion. Tough luck. Your shift is over. You work full-time, so you always finish at night, but it's no big deal since you live just a few blocks away. In some ways, you're kinda lucky. I need you to come in at 10 tomorrow. We've got a new shipment coming in. Cindy was your manager. Not only because her dad handed the store down to her. She wasn't a bad boss, just not the warmest or most understanding. She spent most of her time holed up in the back office and only comes out when she randomly decided to show some interest in the job. But my shift starts at 12. I can't ask anyone else. The part-timers only come in on weekends. Are you at least paying me overtime? I can give you gift cards. You let out a heavy sigh. Stuff like this always wrecks your day, which says a lot considering your day was technically over already. Alright, but just know you owe me. Big time. At least you didn't choose... At least you didn't have to close the store. This place gets real creepy at night. Anywhere's creepy at night. And you know that because you watch a lot of movies. It's just common sense. You know what? Never mind. You grab your stuff and head for the door. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Cindy waved you off before putting her headphones in and disappearing into her music. At least you say goodbye. You took it as a sign that you exist in her world. You step out of the store and close the door behind you, taking one last glance at the sign that now says closed instead of open. It's part of the routine, saying bye to Cindy, letting her close the place up, and heading home. You've been living on your own since you started working. Life as a semi-functional adult in a capitalist world is rough, but you manage. Even though the street is well lit, the air still feels heavy and a little eerie as you walk towards your apartment. It's always been like this. You've got no reason to be scared of something you live with every day. That's when you feel someone. Yank your arm to the side. Hard. Maybe you should have been more alert. They drag you into an alley just off the street. It's a little darker here, but a street lamp nearby lets you make out what's in front of you. The sudden movement disorients you, and you're slow to react. What the? You're cut off by a light blow to the side of your head. The person has pinned you against the brick wall behind you. From the corner of your eye, you catch a glimpse of their arm, a familiar white sleeve stretching into your blind spot. You're done playing dumb. You finally lift your head to see who's cornered you. You got a pretty good guess. Hey again, Lion. Uncertainty creeps in at the sight of the pale face covered in raw, red sores. Jeff had removed his hood and bandana, revealing his face. His skin was mottled with colors and textures, his nose sunken as if it wasn't even there. Those milky blue eyes set deep in shadowed sockets, and you're sure he hasn't blinked even once. But what really caught your eye was the scar that sliced across his mouth. It didn't look clean at all, and the way it twisted his expression made your stomach turn. You figured maybe he was hiding some facial scarring to avoid stares from strangers, but seeing it now, you actually felt a flicker of pity for whatever had happened to him. Jeff, wait, what are you doing? The situation was clearly not in your favor, so your brain scrambles for a way to flip it. You could have asked me out. Jeff let out a dry chuckle. Still with the attitude, huh? Then he pulled out something from the pocket of his hoodie. A knife. He ran the cold blade gently across your left cheek, careful not to cut. You clamped your mouth shut, fully realizing how serious this was. What's so fun about a simple date? When I can watch a show right in front of me. His voice was scratchy, rushed, tinged with an eerie impatience. A show? How you break under fear, he whispered, leaning in close, his breath brushing against your face. Sure, whatever you say. Jeff tilted his head. You could have sworn that was his version of raising an eyebrow. If he had any. Still pretending you're not scared of dying. Hey, you're making it sound like it's a big deal. Are you insane? Seize the guy with the knife. He gripped your shoulder with the same hand that pinned you, then slammed you back against the brick wall. Your head hit the rough surface, sending a sharp sting down your spine. You hissed in pain. I'ma tease him. Oh, harder, Jeff. Oh, harder. Jeff let go of you and took a few steps back. Oh, God. I'm legit freaking out, Jeff. Like your words physically burned him. His face showed genuine surprise, more than you expected. Relax. I'm just messing with you. That wasn't funny. It was to me. Oh, shut up! This isn't supposed to be funny! You should be scared! Jeff stepped in again, raising the knife up to your throat. By reflex, you flinched away from the blade, but the tip still pricked under your chin, drawing a sharp sting. You're in an alley at night with a knife at your neck. So let me ask you again. Are you scared? Frick. I'ma stay silent. I know how the rest of this goes. Yeah. Your gaze drifted off to the side. You didn't know what to say. His face? Yeah, you were scared. Dying? No, not really. But no answer felt certain. Nothing you could say felt true. Jeff must have seen the hesitation, and he clearly didn't like it. Did I pick wrong? Jeff straightened up over you, studying you in silence. His face was strangely expressionless. You figured it was because his mouth was torn up the way it was. He was stuck with the same twisted look forever. Suddenly, you felt a crushing grip around your neck. It was hard to breathe. Your hands flew up instinctively, grabbing Jeff's arm, your body desperately trying to fight back. Fear me. The demand came out almost childlike, despite coming from such a menacing figure. I do. You tried to sound sincere, but it was hard with your throat being squeezed shut. But he didn't seem to believe you. I'll make you fear me. You barely caught his whisper before the pressure on your neck eased. His hand was still there, but now only pressing enough to pin you down. You coughed and gasped, trying to pull air back into your lungs. Then you noticed Jeff was over you again, knife in hand. There was a sudden sting on your cheek, sharp and brief. He made a clean cut across your left cheek. You could feel a thin trail of blood sliding down to your jaw. Aren't I beautiful? Yeah. Maybe if you told him it looked good, he'd be happy and leave you alone. Sure. Very handsome. Gorgeous even. Jeff let out a low chuckle, lowering the knife to your abdomen. I knew you'd be afraid of me. Well, it seemed Jeff took your words as a desperate attempt to please him, so he wouldn't hurt you. He wasn't entirely wrong, so your intention had been slightly different. I just want to let him know he's beautiful. Ah, shit! Jeff punched the blade into your gut, the sharp pain knocking the breath out of you. But he didn't stop there. He stabbed you again and again, over and over, until he finally felt satisfied. The pain and exhaustion were so overwhelming, you couldn't keep your eyes open for anymore, but you could still hear him. Ugh, what a waste of time. You only delayed the inevitable. Well, maybe I should have picked better. I genuinely forgot what I chose to actually survive. Was it that I had to say no, you're not beautiful? Shit, no. You look like you picked a fight with a deep fryer and lost. He was starting to piss you off, so he didn't hold back the jab. Maybe if he got mad enough, he'd finally drop the act and just end the whole damn show. Jeff stayed silent for a moment until you noticed it, a subtle stretch of his smile. He slowly leaned in towards you and licked your wounded cheek, trailing up the thin line of blood. His breath hit your skin, warm, damp. Why is he licking me? The touch of his tongue burned in the open cut, making you hiss. You could deal with him licking you. It was just him being a freak. But when his knee slipped between your legs, hey, forcing them apart, something in the air shifted. It's my dick! Oh, I'm a tease. I'm definitely gonna tease. How else am I supposed to react to this? Was that supposed to turn me on? Maybe if you mocked him enough, he'd get bored and back off. You had to try. Jeff growled through clenched teeth, slamming you back into the brick wall. You let out a pained grunt at the impact. Why don't you fear me? It wasn't that you felt nothing. You knew this was dangerous. Your body made that clear with every pounding beat of your heart. But like it had been from the start, you just didn't feel fear. He wanted your fear like it was owed to him. But if he threatened your life and you didn't really care about dying, then what was there to be afraid of? I don't know what to tell you, Jeff. Jeff lowered his head, visibly disappointed. You glanced around, uncertain and unsure of what to do. Then he straightened up again. That smile was so wide now, his lips looked stretched tight. Let's play, Lion. Oh, shit! He raised the knife again, but this time, not to stab you in a vital spot. Instead, he slowly brought the tip to your face, right to your left eye. I'm going to hunt you down. Every time I catch you, I'll hurt you. Every time you evade me, I'll back off. Just a bit. Jeff's eyes twitched, almost completely white, like two burning spotlights in the dark. Wait. He lost the first round, Jeff declared, and pushed forward. Stop! Move! God, my eye! Why? The blade sank into the corner of your eye, right near the lid. You screamed with everything you had until your throat felt like it was torn apart. Blood poured out like a tiny cascade, and your body jerked, spraying droplets. Jeff laughed, delighted by the reaction. Then he pushed the blade deeper, sinking it into the soft flesh of your eyeball. You choked on your own spit, nearly vomiting from the overwhelming pain. Your hands flailed against his chest, but he didn't budge. Jeff twisted the handle violently, the knife still lodged in your eye. Then he gave it another jerk and pulled. He yanked the eyeball out, still tethered by its veins. That's very creepypasta. Hey, what's happening? Someone there? Like distant, holy bells, you heard voices coming from nearby, but your body couldn't stand it anymore. Oh, my eyeball. You collapsed, your left socket gushing blood. Your vision was blurred and broken. There was no trusting what you saw. You could only focus on what you heard. Remember our game, lion. Jeff whispered softly, his voice drifting behind you. You felt several footsteps approaching, fast, so you gave in to the exhaustion and the pain. You had never felt pain like this before. Sure, you might have twisted an ankle or cut your skin before, but nothing came close to the damage done to your eye. It made you painfully aware of just how dangerous everything had been. Hey, you awake? The pain and exhaustion are overwhelming. You just wanted to sleep, but clearly, there was no choice. You had to face the person standing in front of you. When you came to, you were lying on a hospital gurney. You could smell disinfectant and feel the weight of the bandages on your face. That was kind of a relief. You were being taken care of by, that was kind of a relief. You were being taken care of after what was probably the worst night of your life. You noticed someone else in the room. Oh, a man in a white coat. Clearly a doctor. Watch you closely. Okay, I have a feeling. Okay, I know for a fact that I am playing a Jeff the Killer creepypasta, but I just have a feeling that the artist has done several like creepypasta related like fan art. Like this just reminds me so much of like that sort of style. Like this is not a diss. I genuinely love seeing those. Like I don't know what it is about like that particular kind of art, but it just appeals to me so much. And yeah. Do you know where you are? Hey, heaven, I better save, heaven. I think I've got an angel in front of me. The doctor let out a short laugh and jotted something else down. Good to see your sense of humor is intact. That's a good sign. Your voice was hoarse, your throat sore. You swallowed hard, trying to ease the pain. Do you remember your name? Whatever you want to call me, baby boy. The doctor chuckled softly and shook his head. Answer seriously. EpyksLion. Alright, do you know why you're here? A burned face, a maniacal laugh. Of course you knew why you were here. Someone attacked me. The doctor stepped closer and gently took your hand. You're safe here. He can't hurt you now. You stared at him, surprised by how comforting he was. Wow, pretty decent hospital service. He noticed your silence and let go of your hand, clearing his throat into his fist. Sorry, I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm Dr. Paul Salazar. Nice to meet you, Dr. Salazar. I'd say I wish we met under better circumstances, but, well, you know. Dr. Salazar gave a slight nod and straightened up. Let me explain your condition a bit. You've got a head injury, so we'll be monitoring you for nausea and fainting. You've got a few cuts, nothing that needs stitches, but keep them clean, no touching. Of course, the moment he said that, everything started to itch. Maybe you'd sneak a scratch when you left. You were also asphyxiated, so take it easy. Don't push yourself, and avoid talking too much. If you have problem breathing or feeling dizzy, let someone know right away. You nodded slightly, adjusting yourself in bed to sit up. About your eye? I'm really sorry, but we couldn't save it. Suddenly you felt cold. Your hand moved to the left side of your face, where bandages wrapped around your forehead, where your eye used to be. You'll have some trouble with depth perception, but you can still live a normal life. Eventually, you could get a prosthetic. For now, what matters most is healing properly. Dr. Salazar noticed how quiet you went and leaned in closer. Are you okay, Lion? I lost an eye. Well, I'm fine, I guess. It's just an eye. I've got another one. Dr. Salazar didn't look too convinced by that. But he didn't push it. Is there someone we can call? A family member? A friend? A partner? You could call Jeff for me. You didn't want to admit how alone you are, but lying to your doctor didn't feel right either. Well, I'm not close to my family. I understand. Dr. Salazar scratched his head awkwardly. Exactly why you didn't want to bring it up. There's gotta be someone you're in touch with in the city. A coworker, maybe? Talk about work made you think of a certain someone. Wait, what time is it, doctor? He glanced at his watch. It's 4 a.m. Why? Could you call my boss and let her know I won't go? I can give you her number. Yeah, sure. You scribbled down Cindy's number and handed it to him. Dr. Salazar examined a few more things, but only one stuck in your mind. When you're feeling better, you'll be able to talk to the police. And with that, the doctor left the room, leaving you alone with your thoughts. You vaguely remembered hearing people running towards you when you passed out in the alley. Probably what made Jeff run off. What mattered was that you were safe now, under supervision. There's no way Jeff could get you in the hospital, right? It wasn't unreasonable to worry. His last words were a threat. He'd come after you. But still, you were in a hospital, a place where security actually matters. Thinking so much wore you out again, so you leaned back in bed, trying to relax. Just a few minutes. You just wanted to sleep for a few minutes. A faint metallic sound rang in your ears, making you open your eye. It's going to take a while to get used to having just one, but at least you could still make out everything in front of you clearly. There was a doctor standing there, back turned, busy doing something at a nearby table. For a second, you thought it was Dr. Salazar, but this doctor had black hair tied back in a ponytail. Maybe he was a resident. Excuse me. The doctor flinched at your weak voice. He probably wasn't expecting you to wake up so soon. Could I have some water? He didn't answer. He stood still for a few minutes. Then you heard the unmistakable sound of water being poured. Just the sound of it made your thirst worse. Your sore throat was begging to be soothed. You heard a few steps as the doctor approached. You tried to sit up, but your body felt impossibly heavy. Then you felt a hand on your back, gently helping you up. Did I make a mistake by flirting with the doctor? Because I know for a fact this is Jeff. You didn't hear all that, right? Right? The touch was soft, careful, and made you painfully aware of how vulnerable you were. Then, the smooth rim of the paper cup pressed against your lips. You drank slowly. Your throat burned, but the coolness brought relief. One sip wasn't enough. Your mouth was completely dry, so you drank every last drop. You let out a quiet sigh when you were done, glancing sideways at the doctor who'd been helping you. His bangs hid most of his face, and he wore a disposable mask. Well, where had you seen that before? I'ma be kind. Thanks a lot, doctor. You chose to play dumb. Maybe it would buy you a little time. Maybe someone else would walk in. The doctor said nothing. He just went back to whatever he'd been doing before. Now that you'd had some water, talking felt easier. Dr. Salazar told you not to talk too much, but honestly, you felt okay. Okay enough for conversation, even if it was one-sided. I'ma tell him what happened. You know, someone attacked me. The doctor froze. It was someone I talked to at work. I guess I wasn't his favorite person. Oh, I wouldn't say that. The doctor mumbled suddenly. His voice is way too familiar. The doctor came back to your side, lowering his surgical mask down to his chin. Hi, Lion. Enjoying your little hospital stay. What a shame. Not really a fan of this place. But you seem to love it. Ah, shit! You didn't get a chance to respond. Jeff had already pulled out a scalpel. Wait, Jeff, listen to me. There's nothing going on between me and Dr. Salazar. I swear. No. There's nothing left to say. You like doctors better. No need to explain further. Oh, shit! Jeff thrusts his arm forward, driving the scalpel straight into your throat. I knew it was a trap! You choked on your own blood, gurgling, unable to scream or even speak. I'm not as skilled as a real surgeon. Jeff whispered right into your ear while he gasped for breath, coughing up blood. What I lack in skill, I make up for in passion. The scalpel dragged downward, slicing from your neck to your collarbone. It split your skin open like a zipper, so deep you could feel metal scraping against bone. He laughed, gleeful, delighted by the sight of you writhing in pain, while blood poured from your neck, soaking the hospital gown you wore and the sheets beneath you. It hurt, but not as much as it should have. There was a tingling in your wounds. You were probably still on painkillers. Thank God. Sure, getting your throat slashed open with a scalpel wasn't exactly how you wanted to go, but at least you didn't have to feel all of it. Maybe someone would catch Jeff once they found your body. He was still standing there beside you, laughing like the lunatic he was. In the end, did he kill you just because you were kind to the doctors? That was more than just kindness. We all know that. Was he jealous, maybe? Nah, no way. He probably just really hated hospitals. Ending 2. No doctor could save you. Okay, let's not flirt with the doctor. We are at the hospital. He nodded slightly and scribbled something down on the clipboard he was holding. Your voice was hoarse, your throat sore. Got it. I'ma say my name. It's Lion. Let's skip through. I'm fine. Skip through. I'm not close to family. And then I'ma be kind. Tell him what happened. Oh, come on! Okay, maybe the play here is to say that I lost an eye. He studied your face for a moment, then placed a hand on your shoulder. If you'd like, I can call in a psychologist. It might help to talk to someone. You bit your bottom lip, fighting the urge to cry. You'd been through so much, and now you'd lost a part of yourself. Maybe talking to someone really was the best idea. You nodded without saying anything. Dr. Salazar gave your shoulder a gentle squeeze before letting go. Is there someone we can call? Nah, I'm not close to family. Let's skip through. What if I'm demanding? Maybe that's what's killing me here. I'm gonna be demanding. How many years of med school did it take to learn that unconscious patients need water, Doc? You were playing with fire, but the whole thing felt so surreal. You couldn't take it seriously anymore. The doctor said nothing and just went back to whatever he'd been doing before. Skip through. Let me ask his name. What's your name, Doc? Already met Dr. Salazar. Are you a student or maybe a colleague? Oh, I'm something much better than that. The doctor came back to your side, lowering his surgical mask down to his chin. What do I need to do to survive this? Okay, it took me a while to experiment with, the affection meter, turned on. You have the option to actually, show the affection meter in the game. I just didn't want to do it because, it does not look great on the screen. But, the right answer for this is to say that, you're at a hospital. Just say your name. Okay, say that you're fine. This choice doesn't matter, it's just a bit of flavor text. And then, we have to be demanding. Tell him what happened. The doctor came back to your side, lowering his surgical mask down to his chin. Hi, Lion. Jeff. What a surprise. I had no idea it was you. I don't appreciate your sarcasm. Your heart was pounding, just from having the man who tore out your left eye standing so close. Your body was scared, but your mind wasn't. So, you came to give me some special care. Jeff chuckled under his breath and pulled a syringe from his pocket. Something like that. Wait, what are you doing? He brought the syringe to your IV line and injected it straight into the tube. Relax. It won't kill you. Just gonna make you feel a bit restless. The moment he said it, your heart started racing. Your breathing quickened, like you just run a marathon. You instinctively grabbed at your chest, clutching the thin hospital gown. You bastard! Tisk. Show a little respect for your doctor. Jeff reached out and gently grabbed your chin between his fingers, lifting your head so he could look you in the eye. Feeling weak and drained, you couldn't resist. You didn't even have the energy to call for help or pull away. Remember, this is a game. I'm in a hospital. How do you expect me to run from you? You're such a cheater! You gasped in frustration. You could barely even form words. Consider it a warning. Jeff shrugged like it was no big deal. Suddenly, an alarm went off, and he heard rapid footsteps approaching from the hall. That's my cue. Jeff pulled his mask back over his face and stood up. You better step up your game. Would be a shame if you ended up boring me, he said before disappearing into the rush of nurses and doctors flooding the room. We've got critical hyperkalemia. IV calcium gluconate. 10 milliliters at 10%. Slow push. Now! Amidst the flurry of commands and medical jargon, you spotted Jeff slipping away unnoticed, like nothing had happened, hidden in plain sight. Was it really that easy for him to get in here? Either Jeff had some freakish ability to go unseen, or this hospital was run by idiots. You hope it was the first one. Either way, they treated you quickly. You were already feeling a lot better. If you see signs of kidney failure, initiate emergency dialysis. Dr. Salazar was giving instructions to another doctor you now knew for sure was a resident. The resident nodded and left, leaving the two of you alone. Dr. Salazar rubbed his temples and stepped up to your bed. His expression was full of concern, and you found yourself looking away, feeling guilty. Lion, you suffered a severe case of hyperkalemia. Do you have any idea what could have caused it? You bit your lower lip at the question. You were struggling with yourself, unsure if you should finally tell someone about Jeff. I'm gonna make a save here. I have a feeling the right choice is to keep it to ourselves. You decided it was better to handle this on your own. The fact that Jeff had managed to sneak into the hospital and inject something into your IV under supervision told you everything you needed to know. You weren't safe here. I don't know. I was unconscious the whole time. Dr. Salazar leaned closer, resting one hand beside your head. Whatever happened, you can trust me. Yeah. No. You'd managed to survive this long on your own. You could keep doing it. Call it a gut feeling, but something told you Jeff wouldn't strike again just yet, which meant you had time. Time to think. Time to plan. He didn't hurt you as badly as before, so he probably meant it when he said this was a warning. A warning of what he could do, and it was up to you to make sure it didn't happen. So no, you had no reason to trust a doctor you barely knew. Doctor, I'm telling the truth. Dr. Salazar stared at you for a few moments, clearly unconvinced. Then he sighed and stepped back. All right, get some rest. They'll come by to ask you some questions in a few hours. You nodded silently, but unlike before, the doctor stepped out and called someone from the hallway. A nurse came in quickly. Keep an eye on the monitor. Any changes, alert me immediately. The nurse nodded and stayed by her bedside, close to the heart monitor you were hooked up to. Clearly, Dr. Salazar didn't trust leaving you alone anymore. I'll be checking in on you periodically. You weren't sure if he was talking to the nurse or to you, but you nodded anyway and let your body sink into the bed with a tired sigh. Surviving a sadistic killer was exhausting. Did I survive? Oh, I survived! Damn! I know we could just end it there, but I do want to go through one last set of interactions, which is what happens if we trust Dr. Salazar. I have a feeling we're just gonna reach a dead end with this, but let's go. But the way he'd acted so quickly, the care he'd shown, he was trustworthy. The truth is, my attacker came back. He did something. He put something in my IV. Dr. Salazar's eyes widened in shock, then lowered, full of regret. I'm so sorry, Lion. This place was supposed to be safe. I failed you. You reached for his hand and gave it a soft squeeze, trying to offer a reassuring smile. It's not your fault. I know you're doing your best. Dr. Salazar looked quietly at your hands, gently running his thumb across the back of yours. You couldn't stop your cheeks from heating up just a bit. This isn't exactly a standard solution, but I can get you out of here. Somewhere safe. That did not sound very professional. He didn't sound much like a doctor at all. If anything, he sounded smitten. But you didn't trust the hospital anymore. Anything else sounded better than staying here. Let's do it. Dr. Salazar quickly filled out the discharge paperwork, handed you your clothes, and wheeled you through the hospital corridors. Where are we going? To my place. Whoa, at least buy me dinner first. Dr. Salazar chuckled softly behind you as he pushed a wheelchair. I did perform surgery on you. I think we skipped a few steps. At least you two could still joke around. You reached the elevator. Dr. Salazar rolled you in, positioning you with your back to the doors. What time is it? It's 7:30 a.m. By the way, I called your job. That boss of yours is something else. She'll manage. You both went quiet as the elevator doors opened. You waited, expecting someone to step in and press a button, but instead, you heard a muffled noise, a struggle behind you. You looked at the mirror in front of you and froze. Dr. Salazar was gone. The elevator doors were wide open, showing a dark hospital hallway. Why is it dark? Doctor? You called out, hoping for an answer, but nothing came. What a shame. That voice made your whole body tense. Jeff? Who's cheating now? Jeff stepped into view, just outside the elevator. This game's between you and me. No one else. It doesn't matter anymore. The game's over. Oh shit. Jeff walked into the elevator, watching you through the mirror. His voice was playful, but his eyes were bloodshot and wild. Slowly, he pulled out his knife. Just as slowly, he aimed it at your stomach. You gasped, your whole body tight with anticipation. You knew what was coming, but the anxiety was still unbearable. With a terrifying calm, Jeff pushed the blade into your stomach, slicing through the clothes and into you. You doubled over in pain, but Jeff grabbed you, forcing you upright by wrapping his arm around your neck. You felt his breath through the mask, brushing against your ear. You clenched your teeth so hard it hurt. Shh. Go to sleep, he whispered, pushing the blade deeper into your body. Oh shit, he said the thing! The pain was so intense, you couldn't even scream. But the way he held you, like in a twisted embrace, whispering soothing words, gave you the feeling that, in some sick way, he was being gentle. He could have been more cruel. Maybe he was being merciful, because you had been his little playmate for a while. Ending 3. You didn't play along. So that was the Fear Me demo update. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys do want to play this for yourselves, link to the game will be in the description below. We will be back once more if this game has been released, but like for now, hey, there are a few interactions which I did miss out. Some of which I have covered in my previous video. Like you can see them like in one of the videos here, but some of the other interactions, if you guys want to check them out, please do play this game for yourself. Like, the game is available for free on both Windows and Linux, as well as on the browser. But in the meantime, hey, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of the day, and as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.